First term. It is a branch of biology concerned with the study of genes, genetic variation, and heredity in organisms. This is genetics. That's right. The next term, a process by which genetic information is passed on from parents to child, that is inheritance. Any difference between cells, individual organisms, or groups of organisms of any species, that is variation. Next, a unit of heredity, a section of DNA that codes for a specific trait, that is our gene. Next, I know that you are all familiar with genotype and phenotype. Now let us differentiate them. First up, genotype. It is the genetic makeup of organism. It is the combination of two alleles. While the phenotype is the physical appearance or the physical feature or the trait of an organism. Let's have an example of genotype and phenotype. For a clap flower, so I have here two flowers as you can see. What is the genotype of the first flower? The genotype is FR, the combination of two alleles. How about the other one? That is FW. That is the genotype, the genetic makeup of organisms. While the phenotype of the first one is red because it is color red, it is its appearance, and the other one is white, the physical appearance or the feature or the trait of the organism. That is the difference between the genotype and the phenotype. Is that clear, class? Now let us proceed. Let us define homozygous. It means having two identical alleles, and heterozygous means having two different alleles. Next up, I know that you already know how to use Punnett square. Punnett square is a graphical representation of the possible genotypes of an offspring arising from a particular cross or breeding event. Reginald Punnett is the proponent of Punnett square. Next, do you know Gregor Mendel? Gregor Mendel began a decade-long research project to investigate patterns of inheritance. He studied the inheritance of 7 different features in peas, including the height, flower color, seed color, and seed shape. Gregor Mendel's principles form the base for the understanding of heredity and variation. That is why he is considered the father of genetics. Next, non-Mendelian inheritance. This is a type of inheritance wherein the patterns of phenotypes does not coincide with those that was presented in the Mendelian law of inheritance. And this is our lesson for today. The 3 types of non-Mendelian inheritance. Let's have the first type. That is incomplete dominance. It is a form of intermediate inheritance in which one allele does not completely dominate another allele, resulting in a new or a third phenotype. Let's have an example of incomplete dominance. We have here a red snapdragon flower crossed to a white snapdragon flower, and the result is a pink snapdragon flower. One allele does not completely dominate another allele, resulting in a third or new phenotype, and that is the pink snapdragon flower. Now, let me show you how it happened using the Punnett square. As you can see, our genotype for red snapdragon flower is FR. Our genotype for white snapdragon flower is FW. Let us cross using Punnett square. So this is our genotype. Let us cross it downward and then sideward. So these are the results. Now let us identify the genotypes. Always remember each box is equal to 25%. So as you can see, they are all the same. All the genotypes are the same, FR, FW. Therefore, 100% the genotypes are FR, FW. The phenotype is the physical appearance. Now, the result when we cross red snapdragon flower and white snapdragon flower is 100% pink snapdragon flower. That is how we use Punnett square. Let's have another example. Show the possible outcome of the cross between white flower and pink flower. So what are our genotypes? For white flower, our genotypes are FW and FW. For pink flower, our genotypes are FR and FW. Not FP and FP. That is wrong because pink flower originated from the red and white flower. That is why the genotypes are FR and FW. Always remember that. Now let us cross FW or the white flower and the pink flower using Punnett square. Downward and then sideward. So here it is. As you can see, we have here 2 FRFW and 2 FWFW. Now let us determine the genotypes and the phenotypes. The genotypes are 50% FRFW, 50% FWFW. How about the phenotypes? What is the meaning of FRFW? That is pink flower. Therefore, we have 50% pink flower. How about FWFW? It means white flower. That is why our phenotypes are 50% white flower and 50% pink flower. Understood, class?
At yan po ang lesson natin for today.
Like
and subscribe.